Good morning, class. We are in Unit 5, Lesson 1, Remembering, and we are reviewing some multiplication with zeros, and we are reviewing writing fractions as a decimal. And we're going to go ahead and just get started with some practice. I am dropping my place value chart in here. We used one when we were first writing fractions as decimals, and I'm going to use it. I think it makes it a little bit easier as you start to complete some of these problems. I also know that you're able to write them in the top of your page like we practice in class, but I posted one here for you to review. Let's go ahead and look at number 1. What number 1 reads is 2/10. So 2 over 10. And that tells us, the tenths place tells us where this number belongs. So we go to our chart and we find tenths. And we know that the 2 goes in the tenths place. And bring your decimal down. You can see it here. Bring it down. So 0.2 is 2/10, written as a decimal. 0.2. Let's look at number 2. We have 556 thousandths. And so this tells us that 556 thousandths, we need to identify the last number in our numerator, and that's the 6. And that 6 needs to go into the thousandth spot, and this denominator tells us which place. So the last number goes in the thousandth spot. So we put our 6 here, then we move one to the left and we put our 5 in, and then one more to the left and put our 5 in, and then bring our decimal down. So 0.556 is 556 thousandths. For number 3, we have 6 hundredths, and so we know that the hundredth place is the denominator. It tells us the hundredth place. We find the hundredth place, and 6, it's a single number that goes in the hundredth place. Now, anything that goes to the left until we hit that decimal is a 0, so we fill it in with zeros and then bring our decimal down. So 0.06 is 6 hundredths. 0.06. The next one we're going to look at is number 4, and we have 17 hundredths. So 17 over 100, 17 hundredths. So hundredths tells us which place we're working with, hundredths, and we pick the last number, and that's the 7 in 17, and that 7 goes in the hundredth place, and then we move over 1 and bring that number up, there's the 1, and bring our decimal down. So 0.17 is 17 hundredths, 0.17, 17 hundredths. Number 5, we have 23 over 1,000, or 23 thousandths. And so the thousandths tells us which place we're working with. We pick our thousandth spot. We pick the last number in our numerator. In this case, it's the 3, and we put that in the spot. Then we move over 1 to the left, move that number up, and then we have a place where there's no number, so we fill that in with a 0 and then bring down our decimal. So 0.023 is 23 thousandths. Complete one more together. We're going to look at number 6, and we have 5 thousandths. 5 over 1,000. So we're working in the thousandths place because the denominator is 1,000. So we find thousandths on our place value chart, and we know that there's only one number here, so that 5 goes in the thousandths place. Everything else until we work our way back to our decimal becomes a 0. So we fill in a 0 in the hundredths and a 0 in the tenths. 0.005 is 5 thousandths. You can go ahead and complete 7, 8, and 9 on your own. We're doing powers of 10 multiplication here, and I am going to do just a couple of these with you. Let's go ahead and work at number 10 together. We have 400, and we're multiplying 400 by 70, and I like to hang my zeros. And when I say hang my zeros, remember that means I just bring every 0 down. So I have 1 here, I bring it down. I have 1 here, bring it down, and 1 here, and I bring it on down. Now all I have to do is complete my 7 times 4, and 7 times 4 is equal to 28. So I have my answer of 28,000. Let's look at number 11. We have 300, and we're multiplying that by 30, and I like to hang my zeros. So I'm going to go ahead and bring each 0 down. Here's 1 here, bring it down, 1 here, bring it down, and 1 here, bring it down. Then I'm left with 3 times 3, and we know that 3 times 3 is equal to 9, so my answer is going to be 9,000. One more together. We have 700, and we're multiplying that by 40. This is number 12. I'm going to go ahead again and I'm going to hang my zeros. Here's a 0 here. I'm going to bring it down. A 0, hang it down. A 0 here, hang it down. And then all I have left is 7 times 4, and that's equal to 28. So my answer again is 28,000. All right, kiddos, you're going to complete 13, 14, and 15 on your own. Number 16 reads, Sarah is dividing pies into eighths. She has 4 pies. How many eighths will she have? If you wanted to draw this, you'd draw 4 pies because she has 4 total pies. And each one of those pies has 8 pieces. If you wanted to draw a picture, you could break each one of those into 8 pieces. But you know that you have 8 pies and there's 8 pieces in each. So if you have 8 pies and there's 8 in each, it's 8 times 4 because you have 4 pies. 8 times 4. And so you could do 8 times 4 equals 32. You could also count your 32 parts. And it asks us how many eighths she has, so we write that over eighths because there's 32 eighths. Each one of these pieces is 1/8, and there's 32 eighths. So it's 32 over 8. 32 eighths. I'd like you to complete number 17 on your own, and you can put an X through stretch your thinking. When you've finished your work, please take a picture, attach it to your assignment, upload, and turn it in on Teams.